About 10 days ago, we heard that the bushfire survivors, the kids from Strathewen Primary School, had been robbed. They'd lost computers, they'd lost cameras, they'd lost video cameras. All gear that they'd raised through fundraising was stolen. Now, the kids were in tears, some of the teachers were in tears. These are children who lost their homes, many of them in the bushfires, lost family members, lost their school. They've been moved to Wattle Glen because they haven't got a school and the gear was stolen from there. Well, you heard about it on air here and you fixed it. It only took 10 minutes. We fixed it. Donations came in to replace all the gear. In fact, one of the donors, a volunteer firefighter, rang me this week and said how great it had been. He delivered the camera, he donated, met the kids, had a great time, deeply moved by being able to help. Well, now it's happened again. No doubt the same thieves, it is the same kids, all the gear you donated, gone, stolen. Now, this is just destroying these kids, this community. It's symbolic. They've been through hell and they've been robbed. We helped restore some faith in humanity and now they've been robbed again. It is outrageous. It is cruel. The thieves would have known it was bushfire victims twice in 10 days. The very gear we donated, listeners to this program donated, stolen. Now, we've got to fix it again. We've got to fix it properly and we've got to catch the crooks. On the line from Strathewen Primary School, the principal, Jane Haywood. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
I guess you know what it feels like to be kicked in the guts.
Oh, yes, good fair idea.
So what's happened this time?
Well, we got here yesterday morning. Diane and I, my second classroom teacher, in the process of unlocking the doors, and I said, stop. We've got boxes all over the floor again, and that was it. We called the police once again and called the department security line again, and yes, they'd been back.
What did you lose? What did you lose, Jane?
We lost 2 external hard drives, which we used to back up all of the students' work and their photographic work that they take for their digital animation projects.
Yep.
Which was a big loss because they're the things you really can't replace. Laptops this time, a collection of laptops, the digital video camera, which had been delivered to us by a lovely gentleman the day before through your program. They'd been and had another good go, and there wasn't much left in the tank yesterday, I can tell you, for dealing with this, but a fresh day this morning, and we're back here and into it again.
So the kids were crushed by it, were they?
Absolutely, kids and staff yesterday. We've all been, I think we've all been pretty brave and pretty strong, but yesterday, I guess because with the burglary we had over the long weekend, we were able to have things cleaned, organised and looking very normal when our children arrived on the Tuesday morning. Yesterday morning we had police here and we didn't have access to those classrooms and things as the children arrived, as the floor buses delivered them from all over the place.
Yeah. So they walked into
our classroom. Well, they did.
Well, look, I reckon we've got to do a couple of things here. We've got to help you with security, we've got to replace the gear, and we've got to catch the crooks. Just stay with us, Jane. Detective Acting Sergeant Ryan Wheeler's on the line from Doncaster CIU. Sergeant, good morning.
Good morning, Neil.
How do you feel about this one? It's a shocker, isn't it?
Yeah, it is certainly one that motivates us a bit more than some of the others.
What can we do?
Well, you might be aware that we've actually got a person of interest that we'd like to speak to in relation to this matter.
Oh, no, I wasn't. Good.
Okay, if you look on the Police News website, we've got a person, David William Stewart, who's 29 years of age, who we're chasing in relation to the initial burglary that was committed on the long weekend.
Okay, and we got a description of him or a photograph?
Yeah, that's right. His photograph is up on the Police News website.
Okay, we'll get it onto our website as soon as possible too at 3rw.com.au. What do you say to? I know as police you deal with victims a lot, and what do you say to these kids?
Well, look, I've been speaking with the principal, and members of our unit have been speaking with the principal, and she's been really good. But look, she's really concerned about the kids and what they know and what's happened in relation to these burglaries.
Do you have an expectation that the thieves are the same as both times?
Look, we can't say categorically, but obviously it's a pretty strong suspicion at this stage. We've got some evidence to link both of the burglaries, but we can't say 100% at this stage.
What hope of getting some of the gear back, do you think?
We can only hope. A lot of it obviously gets disposed fairly quickly, but I guess one of the most important things is we catch up with the offender.
Yeah, well, these kids, I mean, they've lost their houses, they've lost family. It's just hell, isn't it?
I mean, the first one was bad enough, but to come back and take the stuff that you helped get back to them, it's a pretty big double blow.
Well, look, thank you for speaking to us, Detective Acting Sergeant Ryan. We'll have a look at the website, 3rw.com.au. We'll get that photograph up there as soon as possible. And this doesn't mean the man's guilty, but they're looking for a man called David Stewart. No fixed address, person of interest in relation to this incident. Okay, the principal is still with me, Jane Hayward. At least that, if somebody can be arrested, it'll help, won't it? It might make you feel a bit more secure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Both staff and I and our children. Yeah.
Well, look, we're getting a lot of offers again, but what we did this morning, and you wouldn't be aware of this, we got onto the state government. As soon as I stopped shouting at my computer, we got onto the state government and pointed it out to the education minister what was going on, to say, can't we do something about security or about replacing the gear? Just stay with it, because the boss is on the line, Jane, the Minister for Education, Bronwyn Pike. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Neil, and good morning, Jane. I'm sorry to be talking to you in such sad circumstances, Jane, because I was looking forward to coming up pretty soon and turning the first sod on the new school, which we're about to get underway.
Well,
we've got some highlights coming up.
Yes, there's some good things happening, but as you've said, Neil, I mean, this is just it just leaves you speechless, really. You just can't possibly understand how someone could be so cruel.
So what can you do? What can the Minister for Education do?
Well, look, I mean, the children at Strathewen have been, and the staff and the whole community, as we all know, have been through an absolutely horrendous time, and this is just an unprecedented set of circumstances, and we'll certainly, as a government, be replacing everything that's been taken. I was particularly touched, actually, to meet Duncan Pete, who's one of the photographers with Alana Chapman, who've produced the beautiful calendar of, their experience of rising from the ashes. And when you think about how therapeutic all this equipment has been for these kids, it just makes it doubly worse. So we'll certainly be replacing everything that's been stolen.
So, Jane, we don't have to fundraise this time. The government will replace everything missing.
That's wonderful, isn't it? Just wonderful. And terrific support.
Now, Minister, the other thing is the security at the school. I'm getting a few people ringing in offering security systems and things. Can the government have a look at that and try and upgrade the security?
Look, absolutely. I mean, the school is alarmed, but, there is extra surveillance, video surveillance and things like that we are actually planning to install on top of this because of these circumstances. But, these are pretty brazen acts, and people rushing in, breaking things, grabbing stuff, and, the police have been terrific, I hear, and but, we need to get things back to normal for these kids, and then, of course, put extra security in place.
So we can replace everything and get the security in pretty quickly?
Absolutely, yes. We're onto it right away, and I, like you, Neil, was absolutely dismayed. And I do want to thank your listeners, because your listeners and other Victorians have just been so generous and spontaneous in these kinds of circumstances, and it is a great example of what the community does in caring for each other.
Minister, thank you very much.
Thanks, Neil.
Minister for Education, Bronwyn Pike. Jane Hayward.
Yes?
Once again, I said it last time, job done.
That's wonderful, isn't it? We have had incredible support. We're pretty much glass half full people here. We always look for the good in a situation. And we've had terrific support yesterday from the department and through the police. The police were fabulous working with us yesterday. And we've got security measures being investigated, and your program's been a terrific support for us.
Well, Jane, we've now got the government's agreed to replace all the gear, to upgrade the security. The police have, everybody will help the police try to catch who's responsible. I don't think there's much else we can do, but does that get the message through to the kids and the staff that, the community cares about them?
We're having a roundtable discussion this morning, and all of this will be passed on to them.
How do you feel?
Oh, look, a new day starts, and you dust yourself off and you keep going. And look, you feel very disappointed when things like this happen, but on we go, and with terrific support that we've had all along, and that's wonderful.
Well, good on you. We'll keep in touch, and please, if you've got any troubles, give us a call.